What's up, y'all? Okay. Point of discussion for this video. Two things which are kind of in parallel amongst each other. First one being is men or young men, boys, children, teenagers, and their relationships to females, more specifically the relationships to females, or at least their perceived relationship to females through social media. Because I don't know if anybody uses Snapchat, but I do. And when on Snapchat, another social media app, you can follow your friends, and you can post like a story and whatnot. But you can also post stories to the public, so not just your friends can see it, but anybody can see it. And it's just like those public stories from people that I do not follow. They're essentially just all like influencers, a lot of bodybuilders, and then like female influencers as well, who are not necessarily bodybuilders, but like promoting the body image that they have of being incredibly good looking. And it made me think, young kids, me included, see this and are just so, I wouldn't say quite disappointed, but I see it and it's just like, wow, like I wish I had that. And you get a false perspective of, I mean, it's not just towards the females, because there's guys on the app as well who do like bodybuilding and weightlifting and who are probably on steroids with incredible bodies. And then, I mean, girls will see that and think that's the normal, or guys will see that and think that's the normal, and then end up with body dysmorphia. And it's just like, wow, this is not good. Because shit, I even see that, and it's like, okay, I'm partly aware of it, but like, it still affects me, If you go on any form of social media and you see a really attractive person, male or female, it's gonna give you a false sense of what the standard is. Like, I consider myself, like, I look at myself in the mirror and I think, wow, I'm gorgeous. And I think that's a great attitude to take towards yourself. But I think that it is quite unfortunate when so many people look at themselves in the mirror and say, wow, like, I hate myself. That's sad. Because a lot of people do, a lot of people are not content or happy with who they are. Not just looks, but with, like status, what it is that they do. So it seems that social media absolutely dismantles and alters the perspective within the mind of the user. And that's a horrific way to live. Because shit, I do it too, and it really, what it essentially does is it alters your reality, because it alters your mind in the terms of, in the way you think about other people. And your perception is your reality. So be careful with what you're consuming on the internet, or not just the internet, in general. What do you consume on a daily basis in terms of information around you? It can range from books, it can range from negative energy from other people who you work with, your family members, their negative energy or their positive energy. It can be a range of different information that you oftentimes aren't even aware of. So just be careful with that. Try to recognize the influences that are around you, as they often go unnoticed, but they often also do influence you in ways of which you wouldn't quite not understand. Okay, so that's kind of talking point one. Talking point two, which might have some similarities, is this is kind of just like more of my thoughts on this one, is what is it more specifically that like girls want out of a partner, in terms of like aggression levels, something like that. Because here's what happened. So I went to a bachelor party this weekend, and I went out Friday night with the guys I was with, and we went to this like kind of dance, not like a club, I guess it was kind of a club, but like this dance dance floors. And I was dancing on the floor, and I was dancing with this girl very briefly. And then, like, we were dancing a little bit, that was kind of that. And one of the guys I was with, after me and the girl had separated, when the guys went over to the girl and asked her, was like, hey, what could he have done differently? That type of thing. And like, by the way, these guys I was with, they were my cousin's friends. I'd never met them before. So like, he wasn't asking he was just asking out of curiosity, just like being a nice guy. Just being like a homie, you know? He was like, hey, what could have my friend done differently, done better? And apparently what she said was, she wished that I was like more aggressive. Now, don't take that the wrong way, but I think what she meant was that, like, you know, like, made the move. That's like what was implied. That's how I took it, was like, as opposed to like letting her do whatever, you know, the guy has to take the first step oftentimes. And I think that goes to show also, it doesn't go to show anything. That was just kind of what we got out of it. And I was like, I honestly was like, I appreciate you for asking her, because he told me that like when we left. He was like, yo, I asked her, that's what she said. And I was like, yo, honestly, good to know, because although I feel like I already kind of knew that regardless, and a lot of people do, is at least me and perhaps a lot of other people, is we're still hesitant to take those steps. And whether you want to call it aggression or just taking the lead, call it what you want. But I think that's actually really important. I thought that was very interesting that that's what she said after the question was asked. And I think when that is said, is, okay, maybe you could just say I lack confidence or something like that, but perhaps that there's more to it. And prior to this point, I was talking about social media and its effects on younger people and how they perceive, you know, males and females. I'm curious if that perception, the altering with that perception, also affects the way people interact in person, such as me perhaps not being as aggressive as I should have been. Because also, though, I'm curious, was like, her saying that, is that her specifically how she feels, or is that like a strong generality for a lot of girls, that they want guys to take the first lead and take the first step, especially like in a dancing, in like that type of situation? It probably is that. It's just more of a generality, but that's specifically how she felt too. Because some people are more timid than others, or some girls would rather take the lead. But it's probably, going off of little information that I know, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's a fairly good general description that you could make for a lot of people, is that in general, girls would probably want, or females would probably want males to take lead, take action. Fuck, I'm getting tailgated hard right now, god damn. But yeah, that is what I want to talk about. This dude's about to cause an accident. So that's what I want to talk about. You know, I don't know, I was thinking about those things a little recently, wanted to make a video out of it, and I can guarantee you, maybe some people watching this potentially have some similar experiences. And I'm curious, just like, what are your thoughts on it? Because, I don't know, you know, it's interesting to talk about, especially something like that where it's so applicable to daily life, where with like social media how it affects one another in our perceptions of other people, as well as, you know, like the regular social interaction between male and female, and then the social interaction between male and female and whatnot in a more lively setting, such as a dance club. You know, how do those things play out with each other? Pretty cool. I don't know. Nice to talk about, nice to question. But regardless, that's what I got for right now. So again, if you watch this, thank you very much. I always appreciate that. Go for a walk, read a book, and love one another. So thank you for watching. Love you. Good night. Good day. Bye.